Can I have a suspension of rules, please?
Right here.
At this time, I would like to bring up a couple items for Chief Caffarelli has on board, because it is our policy that we bring up department heads first, or as early as possible. And I would like to bring up the 2 sick leave banks, item number 11, and the late motion. And then also we'll bring up item number 10 for the JAG program. Chief?
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, councilors. I don't know what order you want to take them in. The JAG grant, it's the Edward F. Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant. It's a $20,252 grant that's going to fund a part-time position, which would be our community resource coordinator, which is retired Officer Dennis Michella. It's merely a continuation of the program we initiated last year, which has enabled us to open up the substation on Pleasant Street. I just merely need your approval of that request.
We need a roll call. On the motion to approve, all in favor, all opposed, vote and so ordered.
Thank you very much. Secondly, I'm requesting an emergency ordinance with respect to Sergeant Michalski and Officer Ciampoli. Both officers have had a cardiac incident which would result in them ultimately filing for the heart bill. As it stands, due to their illnesses, they've expired their sick leave, and this motion would request that you authorize us to form a sick leave bank on behalf of both officers so employees can donate their sick time to these 2 officers.
On the motion, go ahead. Okay, on the emergency preamble, roll call.
This would be for that the emergency ordinance establishing a sick leave bank for Sergeant Theodore Michalski on the adoption of an emergency preamble. Councilor Rigo is absent. Councilor Correggio?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Janino?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Haas?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Patch?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Penta?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Powers?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Reardon?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Zambudo?
Yes.
Yes. And Council President Novoselsky?
Yes.
Yes. The emergency preamble has been adopted.
For Michalski. Okay, now on the second reading for the emergency preamble, all in favor? On the ordinance, all in favor, all opposed, vote and so ordered. On the third and final reading, all in favor, all opposed, vote and so ordered. Roll call.
Councilor Rigo is absent. Councilor Correggio?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Janino?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Haas?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Patch?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Penta?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Powers?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Reardon?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Zambudo?
Yes.
Yes. And Council President Novoselsky? Yes. The sick leave bank is engrossed and ordained for Sergeant Theodore Michalski.
Vote and so ordered. And now on late motion for Officer Patrolman Paul Ciampoli. On the emergency preamble.
Councilor Rigo is absent. Councilor Correggio?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Janino? Yes. Councilor Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Haas? Yes. Councilor Patch?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Penta?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Powers?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Reardon?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Zambudo?
Yes.
Yes. Council President Novoselsky?
Yes.
Yes. The emergency preamble has been adopted.
Second reading. All in favor? All opposed? Vote and so ordered. Third and final reading. All in favor? All opposed? Vote and so ordered. To gross and ordain. Roll call.
For engrossment and ordainment on an emergency ordinance establishing a sick leave bank for an employee of the City of Revere Police Department, Patrolman Paul Ciampoli. Councilor Rigo is absent. Councilor Correggio?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Janino?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Haas? Yes. Councilor Patch?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Penta?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Powers?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Reardon?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Zambudo?
Yes.
Yes. And Council President Novoselsky?
Yes.
Yes, the sick leave bank has been established for Patrolman Paul Ciampoli.
Thank you, Chief. You're all
On
set.
behalf of my officers, thank you very much.
Okay, Chief, back to regular order of business. All in favor, all opposed?
Well,
Vote
Mr. President, we do have other department heads here.
Who's that?
You got DPW Director, Superintendent.
What are
Donnie
they
Dolan,
here on?
Water rates.
Well, we already brought it up to the mayor, and the mayor held it off to the end.
Well,
Late communications also. It's not
I
in the
understand,
regular.
that, but the department heads, you just said our rules, we usually take them up.
Well,
if you don't want
when they're on the agenda, this is a late communication.
Suspension
not-
of,
we have
can we
not
have
accepted
suspension
late
of rules,
communications.
please?
The police chief, take a roll call on it. suspension
We
of
also
rules.
have folks that are waiting for zoning committee to come out.
I understand that. Can we have a roll call on department heads
Roll
first?
call on suspension of rules. To take up department heads only. I already asked the mayor council if he wanted to speak, and he waived it. Weren't you here when he said that?
I don't believe he meant to wait here all night to get his business
He even,
up.
Counselor, he even said I'll wait to the end. You didn't hear that.
You have a roll
Where
call.
were you?
department.
I
walking
didn't.
around
I
again?
think the mayor would like to go out of order.
Let's have a roll call.
I asked for a roll call. Suspension of rules, roll call.
Roll call for suspension of rules. Counselor Arrigo is absent. Counselor Correggio?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gino?
Present.
Present. Counselor Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Haas? Yes. Counselor Patch?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Penta?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Powers?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Reardon?
Present.
Present. Counselor Zambuto?
Yes.
Yes. Council President Novoselsky?
Present.
Present. It fails.
Doesn't it 6 to 5?
It's 8, 2/3.
Need 2/3 to suspend rules?
Does it pass?
Passes. I apologize.
Like to take up the mayor.
Can we bring up free cash transfers first, please? Now, I want everybody to understand that these items will go into Ways and Means. Every item on late communications.
Point of information.
What is your point, Counselor?
These are late communications. They're involving setting the water and sewage rate, free cash. Let's just not take it only because it comes up late communications. Late communications for emergency issues. And I believe these can sit and go into Ways and Means at the appropriate time. That's my
Mr. President, let me just say this. For the last 12 years, and as I said on the City Council, whenever Mayor Ambrosino came up here with a late communication, he was given the respect to at least be heard. It's embarrassing to have to go through a vote for suspension of rules. Coming from a former mayor, it's really discouraging to hear.
I voted yes, Mr. Mayor, if you were listening.
Well, no, but
You don't listen. That's the problem.
Now you mention
the transparency. Where is the transparency?
Where's the
There's no
transparency? Did you look at the budget? There's a lot of
Hey,
transparency.
Matter of
in
fact,
there.
I just got the budget tonight.
Counselors,
On
I have
June 10th.
Counselor Haas.
June 10th.
I want to read to you. Counselor Haas.
Play
I
games
want to
there.
read it. Everybody to read.
This is not a place
Our
to play
rule-
games,
Excuse me,
Counselor.
Mr. Mayor. Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. I want everybody to understand the rules of the City Council. And I'll read the Rule 18 on late communications. And I'm quoting our rules that we approved. Late communications shall not be introduced to the City Council unless 2/3 of the members of the council so rule. Bottom line. 2/3 to accept late communications.
The roll
Now-
call, Mr. President, point of information was asked to suspend rules.
That's
It
correct.
was- it was not to take up
You're
any late.
absolutely
Point of
correct.
information, Rule 31 requires
You're
a
abs-
two-thirds vote anyway.
You're absolutely
No, it's
correct. The suspension of rules was only, the vote on suspension of rules was only for suspension of rules. It was not to take up late communications. And Mr. Mayor,
If you don't want to take up the late communication, don't take it up, Counselor. I've got other things I have to do anyway.
Mr.
Okay,
Mayor,
if you don't want to hear
it's
about
not,
what's
it's
here.
it's not that we
Those
didn't want
councilors
to
that
hear
are
it. You are
interested-
taking everything out of context here, Mr. Mayor.
I
We had-
am?
Yes.
I stood here
We were not denying anything on this thing. I asked you before, if you wanted to speak in those, and you said you would wait.
Last Monday, you were complaining you
I
didn't
don't
have a
care
budget.
about last month. I'm talking
I
about
care
right now,
about it.
Mr. Mayor.
You said you
I'm
wanted the
talking
budget. I
about
have
right
the
now,
budget. I
Mr.
wanted
Mayor.
to talk about it. We had it. I told you you'd have it by
And
the end of
Mr.
the
Mayor,
week or the beginning of this
You will
week.
have your time to speak, sir.
Oh, really? Well, thank
Yes,
you
sir.
very much, Mr. President. I really appreciate that.
And it's,
Thank you
with
so
all
much.
due respect, sir. With
Thank
all
you
due
so
respect,
much.
Just because you have some
Respect?
gentlemen, yes,
Really?
sir. Yes, sir. With
Okay.
all due respect.
Okay.
We are
Do
in
you have any
suspension
questions
of
for me
rules.
do you have any questions for me on these late motions?
We are in suspension of rules right now.
If any members have any late,
Mr. Mayor, I am running this,
questions.
Mayor. I am running this meeting, sir.
okay, well then,
If you would, thank you, sir.
if you need information, let me know what it is.
And when the time comes, sir, right now, I am about to run this meeting, and we are right now in suspension of rules with nothing on the table, because we
You just
cannot...
called me to the podium.
Sir, no, your friends called you to the podium, not me. I did not call you to the podium, sir.
My friends did, well, I'm
I
not
did
sure who
not
my
call you
friends
to the
are.
podium. Mr. Mayor, I did not call you to the podium,
Okay.
okay? And what we're going to vote on now, if they want to take up late communications, we are here to vote whether or not to take up late communications. And we need two-thirds votes to take it up, realizing we still have a regular agenda we have to deal with. Now, Rule 31 states that the council shall from time to time establish its rules of its procedures. No rule shall be suspended except by a two-thirds vote of all the members of the council, nor shall any rule be repealed or amended without giving at least 1 week's notice thereof, or unless two-thirds of all the members of the council concur. I'm just telling you what
Mr.
we
President,
have, gentlemen.
Mr. President,
And lady.
we had two-thirds of a vote, if you want to go with technicalities.
No, we do
We
not,
had
sir.
some presidents vote present.
We do
It's
not,
It's
sir.
a non-vote.
We do
It
not,
was 6
sir.
votes yes
We
and
do
2
not,
against.
sir.
That's a majority vote.
Do
That's-
not, sir. It's of
that's
the whole
two-thirds.
council. It's of the
That's-
whole
But,
council.
Mr. President, just a
It's
point
of the whole
information.
council.
Just a point of information.
Council, what is your point of
Point of
information?
information, if you're going to send stuff to committee, it should be stated here. You have a department head. I'm looking at Superintendent Goin. Friday night, I know he's here at least 10 o'clock at night till probably 7 in the morning, working around the clock, now sitting here an extra 4 hours, and that's why I asked to take it up. If you're going to send it to committee, why don't we say, Superintendent, you're not needed tonight, go home. Let's have a little compassion for these people.
We haven't
You know,
even
they
gotten
work around
to,
the
Council,
clock for the
that's enough.
citizens.
You've had your information. And we haven't even gotten to communications or late communications or late motions yet. We still have a regular agenda to go through.
I know what your agenda is.
We
You
haven't
do have
gone
an
through
agenda.
thing, and you're
I know
not
you
on
have
it,
an
sir.
agenda.
That's where I go.
You do have an agenda.
That's right, sir, I do. Who does?
Just a
Madam
point of-
Vice President.
Thank you. Just a point of information, we suspended this in the best interest of time, and we spent 10 minutes arguing back and forth about this, and I think it's very disrespectful not only to each other, but to the mayor, and I apologize because I can tell you right now that I'm embarrassed to be sitting while this is going on. We're all professionals, and we're all here to represent each other, and I don't like to see this. So can we just come to something in the best interest of our department heads and of the council that's here to speak before us? Thank you.
Mr. President, if you would allow me, I'll change my vote to yes on that motion to suspend.
Yeah, it's already been ordered. Cannot change your vote. We are now on suspension of rules. And we cannot take up late communications unless we have a vote to take up late communications, and there is a two-thirds vote.
I move that we vote to take up the late communications, okay? That's a motion.
There is a motion on the floor to take up late communications. Roll call.
Councilor Rigo is absent. Councilor Correggio?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Gino?
Present.
Present. Councilor Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Hass? Yes. Councilor Patch? Yes. Councilor Penta?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Powers?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Reardon?
Yes, for God's sakes.
Yes. Councilor Zambuto?
Yes.
Yes. And Council President Novoselsky?
Yes.
Yes. Late motions will be taken up at this time.
We have the mayor now?
We'll take up free cash. Does the mayor want to speak on free cash? Or does Mr. Anzoni want to speak on free cash? Item number 4. And I do want to remind everybody that these will go into Ways and Means.
Mr. President, members of the council, you will have a letter here regarding free cash. As you may know, we certified $2.851 million in free cash, which has not yet been expended. So unless we designate it to an account, we run the risk of losing the $2.8 million. So this is simply a vote to move that $2.851 million into our stabilization fund, the general fund. Also, we have certified $86,043 in free cash that we are requesting be moved into our stabilization fund for our water and sewer enterprise fund. So this is simply to move this money into accounts for further appropriations. That's all this is.
Councilor Hess.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Mayor, by transferring this $2.8 million into the stabilization fund, any funds taken out of that account has to be approved by the city council, correct?
By two-thirds vote.
By two-thirds. Thank you.
Yep.
Mr. President?
Councilor
Point of clarity,
Guanasso.
we need to do this right now.
No
Before
problem.
we lose it.
No problem.
I make a motion to approve it.
There's a motion on the floor to approve. All in favor? Roll call. Roll call.
Counselor Rigo is absent. Counselor Correggio.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Gino.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Guanasso.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Hess. Yes, Counselor Patch.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Penta.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Reardon.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Zambuto.
Yes.
Yes, and Council President Novoselsky.
Yes.
Yes, the free cash transfer has been approved.
Okay, item number 2 will be the bond authorization rescinding.
Thank you once again, Mr. President. Members of the council, we had, and I know many members of the city council, by looking at our bonded debt, would assume that we have, I think Councilor Powers may have alluded to it last week, that we had about $140 million of bonded debt. But a lot of that was debt that was authorized but never issued. So in an effort to clean up our books, I've requested our Director of Finance to go through all outstanding bond authorizations to see what could be removed from our books. And I'd like to thank our Director of Finance, who's here with us today. He was able to perform that in a relatively short period of time. So all that we're really doing is asking that these not appropriations, that these authorizations be rescinded. So this is a chance for you to rescind former authorizations that the council approved, but the city has not had to make any appropriations from or expenditures from. And the Director of Finance is here should anybody have any questions.
Any questions? Councilor Hess.
Thank you once again, Mr. President. I have spoken about this many times, cleaning up our balance sheet, and also outside auditors have also indicated it's nice to see that we're going to reduce potential bond authorization by $45 million. I think it's a smart move. Hopefully we can do this a little more quicker as time goes on, because some of these go back to 03, 94, et cetera. So I think it cleans up our balance sheet and helps our bond rating agency. Thank you.
And I want to remind everybody, we do have another meeting before the end of the month. This will go into Ways and Means.
Can I make a motion that we vote on this now, tonight? I really think that's a no-brainer. I mean, why wait?
Well, do you guys want, folks want to use the Ways and Means Committee anymore?
Well, I think
You know,
the whole
it seems
budget-
that you're not
Mr.
taking it
President-
out. There's not an emergency to take it out.
Mr. President, we have one meeting left.
Yeah, so,
We have to vote on the budget. Well, we screamed and yelled, you need 6 more months to look at the budget. Now all of a sudden you don't need time to look at the budget? I'd rather clear some stuff up that's,
of course we need time to look at the budget.
it'd be nice to clear
It's
some
now
stuff up
June
and not
10th.
add it to the budget.
It's now June 10th. So will the
Well, I believe
council,
I got a motion.
on the motion to approve all the cleanup of all the bonding orders, all in favor? Roll call.
Roll call on the motion to take up the rescinding of the bond authorizations. Councilor Rigo is absent. Councilor Correggio?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Gino?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Hass?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Patch?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Penta?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Powers?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Reardon?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Zambudo?
Yes.
Yes. And Council President Novoselsky?
Yes.
Yes.
Item number 3, water rates. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. President, members of the council, we have determined the FY14 rates for water and sewer. They are included in the letter before you. Essentially, what's happening is there is an increase for residential ratepayers of 6.19%, and an increase for 9.85% for commercial use. This year, as we always do and take our increases from MWRA, we also have to include the bonded debt now that we're starting to pay as a result of this consent decree. And this is where really now we're going to start to feel that consent decree. I mean, we tried to keep it down as much as we possibly could and shift as much as we thought reasonably possible over to the commercial ratepayers. But there's no getting around it. You know, water rates continue to rise from the MWRA and also from those, votes that you have to take. And as a result of my putting up requests for bond authorizations upwards of $10 million a year to keep in compliance with this consent decree that was issued. This is something that I inherited. I remember, several years back when we all heard that we were being sued by the Department of Justice. It was hard to believe, but this is the set of circumstances that we're all dealing with. Nobody likes to see any kind of an increase, but as I say, I'm going to try the best I can to keep the water rates down as low as I possibly can, while still making the necessary investment that we're required to by virtue of this consent decree. I know Superintendent Goodwin is here, and again, our Director of Finance, George Anzoni, is here that can assist in answering any questions that you may have, or at an appropriate time, if you are sending this to Ways and Means or any other subcommittee, we'll be happy to answer questions.
Councilor Hass.
Once again, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Mayor, if this does go into Ways and Means, which will be prior to July 1, would the tax rate, the water bills go out on time, or what?
Councilor, 1 second. Let me just, Donnie, you want to answer that? Okay.
That's a good question, Bob. I was just about to bring that up. Billing does have to go out July 1st. So as long as it's voted on at the next regular meeting, it should be. But obviously, tonight would be the quick, because we have a new program we're trying to get into place, new billing system. It's going to make it difficult on the people downstairs. It's the first time we've used this new billing system, and obviously, if we could get this off today, whatever you send to Ways and Means is not going to change the numbers. The numbers are the numbers. They're not going to change. And it's just an exercise in the Ways and Means going through there.
No, I agree with you, Donnie, but the issue is when you're going up 6% across the board
I understand,
for
Bob.
retail customers, that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, Bob, but I
Yep.
think it was explained to the mayor that we are under a consent decree from the Justice Department.
Without question.
Which we have no relief from at this point. At some point, we'll reconvene with the Justice Department and the state as well, and see if we can take a step back and see where we are at this point, but now is not the time.
I guess the question is, if we put this in Ways and Means, but we still vote on it prior to July 1st, that would not affect you dramatically?
It'll affect the girls downstairs at Billing.
Who's in the building?
Yes.
Right. I'd like to leave in a committee to analyze it if it's not really going to affect us. I mean, it's a major cost
Yeah,
going on.
The numbers are the numbers, they're not going to change.
We understand
You
that.
can bang it back and forth. These numbers are the lowest numbers that,
I just want to explain this, is that it really does have to be voted on tonight, because we have to get the rates in. If the rate doesn't get into the system by the time we're ready to bill, then what happens is we're going to lose next month's billing, and the bills are going to be late, we're not going to collect as much water, and we're going to have a deficit at the end of the year. So that's one of the things we're facing. So I understand what Superintendent Goodwin meant, but at the same time is we have to get this into our billing system, we have to put it in place, and we have to make certain that on the first bill, we can send it out as early in July as we can, because we're doing, reads are being done, and this has to be, again, takes time to get it over into, so July 1st is like bang here, and then we have to bill our water. So, in all honesty, councilors, if you have any question on the rate and how it's developed, I'll answer that. If
What
you
would
need
the
any
average
answers.
cost be per retail customer?
Well, 6% of whatever they used last year.
So
for
if you
the
use
residential.
$1,000 a year,
So they're going up, $60.
Right.
That's what
$60.
Yeah, it's a little more than $60, that's what it'd be. The major problem is the fact that, again, the MWRA, we had to raise their rates by an average of almost 6%. They haven't set their budget yet. So we have to use an estimate on that. And if there is a lower adjustment, if they come in lower than we expect, we'll come back and ask for a lower rate. But as of right now, from what we see, what we've been told is that put a 6% increase in there, and that's what we did, so that we can get this out, because they don't set their rate sometime until probably in the middle of July. However, the way we run our system is that if we don't get the first billing out on time, and we don't get enough billings in the year, what happens again is either we squish the billings and people are paying their quarterly billing, which would be closer together, so that when it gets down to the end of the year and you send out your last bill, it's going to cause them a problem. So, and then you have the monthlies for the commercials, and then the commercials are going to have to bill 12 times, and then you don't give us the time to collect on the other end because we have the 30-day due date. And then we have to lean.
but George, to be late by a week or 2 weeks is not going to affect the whole system.
Well, it does affect the system, actually, honestly, Council, because, and in the past, what's happened is they usually voted it sometime in June, so that we could get this onto the system. And I don't really think that right now we can afford to have any fear. And in fact, if you notice the last line in the mayor's letter, it says that to adopt proposed rate schedule to avoid any deficit in our water and sewer enterprise fund, and that's exactly what may happen. As far as the numbers and what they changed, the numbers are there. The numbers have been gone over a number of times by myself, the Superintendent of Public Works, the mayor, the city auditor. You actually have in your budget package, you see where the main number comes from, in your enterprise fund, and they're all tied in. So the problem being is that we really need to have this passed tonight, because I have to make sure because I oversee the water and billing, I have to make certain that we get the bills in place in time so that we don't have a deficit. So if we have a deficit, what's going to happen is that we have to raise it, as you know, the next year, and that's something we don't want to have to do. And that may raise the billing rate next year. So what we'd like to do is get the 12 billing dates for the commercial and the quarterly on a timely basis. And then again, when we have to, if we're late at the beginning of the year, when we have to put the liens on the tax bills in December, then we won't be able to catch the liens in December, and they will have to go on the following part of the bill if they can. But I have to make that lien date in December for the bill. So if I don't have a due date of the second billing of the water to come due before sometime in the first part of December, what happens is I can't catch those liens until the following year. So what's happening is then we're pushing that collection off. So part of everything that goes into water rates, as you know, is the water liens and the actual current water. So that's what we're looking at. We're having that issue as far as the billing, and the timing of the billing is very important.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Bob. No, that it? Madam Vice President.
Thank you. My only question is, and I'm a little bit concerned about this, that if we knew that this was coming up and that this was a billing date and all this was going on, why was it, the letter and the information that I have was dated today and it was given to me at 5 o'clock tonight. So I'm just concerned that if we knew all of this ahead of time, that these were when the bills were coming out and this is when we needed the information, what happened that all of this confusion happened?
I don't think there was any confusion. This is the information that the MWRA gives us. And so we wait until as late as we possibly can to get it before the City Council, so we do have a final number, but they haven't finalized their budget. So we can't wait any longer because our bills need to go out in July. I mean, how much longer are we going to wait? I mean, you know, if you want to put this into committee, what it does, unfortunately, I mean, okay, so if the MWRA does come up with their budget and they say, and under their advice, this is what they're telling us to do. If they come up with their budget and the numbers are the same, maybe a little bit different, whatever the case is, we could change that, right? But then what happens is by the time we get the billing information into the system, it won't be in time for people to get it in their bills. And then what happens is people are going to wind up getting hit with a big bill on their second bill. And that's going to create a lot of turmoil for people. And so, you know, we're trying to spread out the payments as best as we can. But a lot of things that we do, even as Representative Reinstein was here talking about the state budget, that's not even set yet. We're using estimates right now, and you know we can only give you what we have. And you know, if I were to not give this to you tonight and just let it keep going and going and going, then we're not going to have a correct bill for our ratepayers, and it's going to cause some real problems for them. People that plan on budgeting and they need to be able to know what they're going to pay. That's all we're trying to do here. Like George said, you know, based on what they told us, these numbers are not going to change. If they do change, you know, hopefully for the better, maybe for the worse, I don't know. Unfortunately, we're going to have to come back and we're going to have to tell you, look, the MWRA set their budget and we have to change in this direction.
So are these the most up-to-date numbers as of this morning, or are these numbers that we've had for?
As of this morning.
Okay.
I mean, we were preparing this letter in the middle of today, you know, in the middle of this afternoon.
No, absolutely. I just want to make sure before, you know, because time is of the essence, so I want to get it done tonight, but I want to make sure that all that's clarified before we do vote on it. So thank you.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things, you know, unfortunately, and I've seen it over the years and couldn't fully appreciate it until now, that there's certain things that, you know, we've been presented with up here and said we got to vote now. I can't believe why, but you know, it's reality, and that's the unfortunate part sometimes of you know, deadlines and things that, you know, require votes from the city council. You know, with the SRF funds, I know that I put before you like 2 months in advance because I could do that. I told CDM Smith, plan the work out, because last year it was late in June. We had to get a vote right away on that. I didn't want to do that, so things that I have control, things that I can control, I try to get to you early. So you know, this happens to be one that I couldn't. Any other questions?
What's Councilor Guanasso?
Very briefly, I think obviously we have to vote on this evening based on the urgency of it, but there's always an opportunity when the actuals come in that we can refer over to Ways and Means, and then we can review it with the mayor's staff, and if there's an adjustment that's needed in the next quarter, we can do that without hurting or injuring the process of leveling off this as least as we can to all, because this is going to be a major whack when people get this, and we don't want to double whack them by giving them on the second quarter a bigger whack. So this is going to be devastating to a lot of people, and a lot of people are very concerned about the water and sewer rates already. Now, given the fact that, and a lot of our community is unaware of this decree order that we've been stuck with, and unfortunately we're saddled with this right now, and we have to make judgment on this But we knew collectively as councilors and through the administration, obviously, that this was coming. We knew that we were going to get hit with this. At some point, we have to face reality. At some point, we have to pay the piper. And now the piper is here looking to get paid. So I think we have to do due diligence, do our work with this. And if we can adjust this possibly in the second quarter for the better of our community, let's do it. But to injure the fact that we give them more of an increase, because it's not going to go away. The bill is not going to go away. We're going to have to meet our obligation no matter what. And so the best opportunity we have is to address it now, and hopefully the mayor will get favorable response from Mass Water, and they'll come in with a reduction. But we know that's not too likely to happen, so let's go forward with it as we have. And I sit as a member of the Ways and Means Committee. I speak
Council
for
Penta.
Thank you, Mr. President. Basically, I'm going to echo what Council Granasso said, but I mean, realize, and hopefully we can keep our fingers crossed, if MWRA comes in a little less than we anticipated, the second bill would be less. So it would come back to us, and hopefully that's the news we get. I mean, you know, and I'm sure it's probably going to be a little less, hopefully the second bill, but I mean, I think Council Granasso said it well, and I'll go along with that. Thank you.
Well, to follow up on just something, if I may, Mr. President, on what Council Guanasso said, you know, you mentioned that a lot of people probably just don't realize that we're under this consent decree and what it actually means. And it's true. You know, people come in all the time with their water bills, and I try to explain to them, you know, the reality of it. It doesn't make it any better, but it is the reality. And, in fact, for those of you that don't know, this Wednesday night, we're having a meeting at the Rumney Marsh School at 6 p.m. to talk about water rates with the general public. There'll probably be some sort of a message going out on that for people that are concerned about their water rates, and we'll be able to just lay out exactly what it is that is going on. We do plan, in my conversations with CDM Smith, this year to go to the EPA to see about getting some relief, to see if we can you know, reduce the amount of money and the time, you know, expand the timeline to get all this work done. Because it's too much of a burden in 10 years to do all the work that they wanted us to do, you know, in a small community like Revere, 55,000 people. We just don't have the resources, the financial resources, to keep hitting people. And, you know, so, we do plan. In fact, you'll see in the budget, actually, that we've put some money in for legal fees under the water and sewer to allow us to go and as far as we possibly can with the EPA to get this, you know, to get these bills reduced. So.
That the City Council establish a residential water rate of $3.68 per 100 cubic feet and a commercial water rate of $5.52 per 100 cubic feet. Councilor Rigo is absent. Councilor Correggio.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Janino.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Guanasso.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Haas. Yes. Councilor Patch.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Penta.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Powers.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Reardon.
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Zambuto.
Yes.
Yes. And Council President Novoselsky.
Yes.
Yes. The water rates have been set for FY14.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to, what, Counselor? The what? We're already on suspension of rules, Counselor. Sure. Motion for reconsideration, hope it will not prevail. All in favor, all opposed, vote and so ordered. It doesn't matter. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the last item on the late communications is our budget. Again, realizing we still have to finish our regular meeting, and realizing unless you want to pass the budget tonight without being seen, I would hope that this does go into Ways and Means so we can review it. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. President, this will probably be the shortest that I will speak on any topic tonight. You have a letter before you and a budget document that will look quite different It'll look, some parts of it will look similar, but as you go through it, you'll see it's a much thicker document, and they'll have a lot more information in there in terms of mission statements, goals, actual numbers. There'll be 3 years' worth of budget, actual money spent. You'll see it as you go through it. There is a 6-page letter. I'm not going to go through it unless anybody wanted me to. I think what I will do, if it's all right with the council, is once you start your Ways and Means Committee meetings, I'll come up at the beginning of your process, go through that letter, and then answer any questions specific to the overall budget, and then I'll just appear before you when it comes to my own budget for my department. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say about the budget, other than we tried to get it to you as quickly as we could.
Ways and Means. Thank you. Back to regular order of business.
Calendar item number 4, report of the zoning subcommittee.
Council Reed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be brief, hopefully. 4 matters came before the zoning subcommittee on last Tuesday. First being C1304 CBW Landing LLC, seeking permission of the Revere City Council to operate a commercial automotive storage parking facility, 190 VFW Parkway. That's the Wonderland site. This matter remains in committee. We have a number of questions, subcommittee that is, we have a number of questions that we're seeking to have answers for, and council agreed to provide answers at the next zoning subcommittee meeting. Second matter before the zoning subcommittee was C-13-06. This was a petition from Frank Licata of Vinton Street in Melrose, seeking permission from the Revere City Council to modify and extend a non-conforming 4-family structure on Lot A1 at 200 Ocean Avenue in Revere. This matter was voted out favorably by the subcommittee with the conditions of the that were requested by the site plan review, and I'll read them as quickly as I possibly can. Number 1, a street and sidewalk bond must be placed on file with the DPW to secure performance of the installation of utilities, construction of concrete sidewalks, and granite curbing, construction of driveways, construction of retaining walls if applicable, and landscaping with respect to the modification and expansion of non-conforming 4-family structure at 200 Ocean Avenue. Number 2, the final building plan must be reviewed and approved by the fire department. Number 3, the structure shall have occupancy of no more than 4 one-bedroom units. Number 4, the existing landscaping strip along the frontage of the property shall be restored, and a landscape buffer shall be maintained in the rear adjacent to the railroad right-of-way. Number 5, 4 on-site parking spaces shall be provided. Number 6, a sewer connection and water connection permit must be obtained from the DPW for all new services to the building. 5, a final as-built and landscaping plan must be filed with the building inspector and the city engineer prior to the issuance of the occupancy permit. Again, that matter was reported out for a vote of this full city council with the approval of the zoning subcommittee and with the addition of those site plan review recommendations.
On the recommendation of the committee with the site plan review additions, all roll call.
Shall the relief requested be granted on the special permit application of C-1306 for 200 Ocean Ave, subject to the findings and conditions of site plan review? Councilor Arrigo is absent. Councilor Correggio?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Janino?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Hass? Yes. Councilor Patch?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Penta?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Powers?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Reardon?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Zambudo is absent. And Council President Novoselsky?
Yes.
Yes, the special permit has been granted subject to the findings and conditions of site plan review.
Council Reardon.
The next matter reviewed by the zoning subcommittee on Tuesday was item number C-13-07. This is a petition by AL Prime Energy Consultant, Inc., 18 Lock Ave, Saugus, seeking permission from the Revere City Council to reconstruct and expand the non-conforming use and structure to enable the appellant to construct a 2,200 square foot retail convenience store and 10 gasoline pumps on lot 215-4 655 Revere Beach Parkway, Revere, Massachusetts. This matter was also ordered out of the subcommittee with the approval of the subcommittee in favor with, again, a site plan review conditions that I will run through as quickly as possible. Number one, the frontage of the property along Revere Beach Parkway shall be landscaped in accordance with a landscaping plan to be approved by the Site Plan Review Committee. The landscaping plan shall include a landscape buffer strip along the rear of the property between the abutting residential properties, as well as the construction of a 6-foot-high PVC fence. The plan shall also include the planting of 8 shade trees, minimum caliber 2.5 inches along the frontage of the Revere Beach Parkway, and 2 Chanticleer pear trees along Vinyl Street, along the side of the proposed building, within the sidewalk area, and a raised landscaping bed in the corner of the Vinyl Street and Revere Beach Parkway. Number 2, granite curbing and wooden guardrails shall be installed along the frontage of the property, along the back of the sidewalk. Number 3, the final plan shall be reviewed and approved by the fire department for fire suppression system requirements. Number 4, new granite curbing and sidewalks shall be installed along the frontage of the property along Vinyl Street. Number 5, the dumpster shall be screened from public view on all sides and be set back at least 10 feet from the property line. Number 6, there shall be a minimum of 10 parking spaces provided on the site, including 1 handicap parking space. Number 7, all curbing within the site shall be granite or precast concrete, and all ramps and sidewalks within the site shall be concrete. Number 8, all site lighting shall be equipped with the deflectors as not to provide glare into abutting residential properties and be set in a manner that provides lighting towards the ground. And number 9, all rooftop mechanical systems shall include noise baffles and be positioned as far away as possible from the abutting residential properties. Again, these conditions were added to with the approval of the zoning subcommittee and are ready for a vote this evening.
On the recommendation of the zoning subcommittee for C-1307, roll call.
Shall the relief requested be granted, subject to the findings and conditions of site plan review on the special permit application C-1307, 655 Revere Beach Parkway? Councilor Rigo is absent. Councilor Correggio?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Janino?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Haas? Yes. Councilor Patch?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Penta?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Powers?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Reardon?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Zambudo?
Yes.
Yes. And Council President Novoselsky?
Yes.
Yes, the special permit has been granted.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. And lastly, the subcommittee reviewed CZ-13-02, which is a petition to amend the zoning map of Lot 8A Herman Street, Lot 3 Beach Street, Lot 4 Beach Street, Lot 90 Herman Street, Lot 10 Herman Street, and Lot 106 Herman Street rear from Residential B, RB zoning district, to GB, that's General Business Zoning District. Once again, the zoning subcommittee reviewed this application and petition rather, and approved it to go forward before the full city council this evening for a vote.
On the recommendation of the zoning subcommittee on CZ-13-02, ordered to a second reading. All in favor, all opposed, vote and so ordered. On the third and final reading, all in favor, all opposed, vote and so ordered. On engrossment and ordering, roll call.
On the engrossment and ordainment, Councilor Rigo is absent. Councilor Correggio?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Janino?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Guanasso?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Haas? Yes. Yes. Councilor Patch? Yes. Yes. Councilor Penta?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Powers?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Reardon?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Zambudo?
Yes.
Yes. And Council President Novoselsky?
Yes.
Yes. Ordered, engrossed, and ordained. Calendar item number 5, report of the Ways and Means Subcommittee.
Nothing submitted, hold over. And
Calendar item number 7, communication from ROCA relative to addressing the council.
we have set that up for June 24th, and we'll determine the time as we go on.
Calendar item number 8, communication from the mayor relative to the appointment of Samuel Valentin as a constable.
Appointments Committee.
Calendar item number 9, communication from the mayor relative to the appointment of Keith Hirschon as a constable.
Appointments Committee.
Calendar item number 12, motion presented by Councilor Novoselsky that the mayor request the MBTA to relocate bus stop number 5783 westbound at the corner of Beach Street and Walnut Avenue to the former location of bus stop 5782 westbound across from the corner of Nahant Avenue as soon as possible.
Move the question. All in favor, all opposed? Vote and so ordered.
Calendar item number 13, motion presented by Councilor Powers that the mayor request the Department of Conservation and Recreation to install a catch basin in the area between Alden and Bickford Avenues to eliminate the standing water that occurs and remains after a rainstorm.
Councilor Powers.
Mr. President, thank you. I'd also like to add on to that, the catch basin be added in front of the entrance to the Alden Mills Fire Station. That's a very busy area when people are going in there to vote, and you were down there, I believe, well, some of you were down there Sunday, and you saw the puddling in front of that fire station, and you can only imagine when it freezes up what the residents down there have to endure. So I would like that taken care of, sir. Thank you very much.
On the motion as amended, all in favor, all opposed? Vote and so ordered.
Calendar item number 14, motion presented by Councilor Correggio that National Grid be requested to either repave or reseal the trench on Putnam Road in Oak Island.
Councilor Correggio.
Thank you, Mr. President. A few days ago, I was on Putnam Road at Oak Island, and I guess a lot of the residents are complaining about the trench that National Grid put in a gas line and never resealed it, never really repaved the edging of that trench. And it's leaving the street very uneven. So we need to get National Grid down there and either repave or reseal that trench down there. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Councilor Correggio. On number 15?
I'd like to speak on it.
Well, Councilor Correggio has the first call.
He just spoke.
What was that, on Putnam Road, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Putnam Road. Yeah, you can add Councilor Powers onto that motion.
Councilor Powers.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilor Correggio is right, 100% right. As a matter of fact, about 10 years ago, I had both of those streets repaved for the residents down there, Putnam and Maggie Road. And they were doing some trenching down there. Now, my understanding is I had put a motion in last year that required that a person be appointed by the Superintendent of Public Works to inspect the compacting of all diggings throughout the city with trenches, manholes, whatever they would be, and compact it to a 95% ratio. And I don't know if that's been done. Obviously, somebody's not out there making these inspections. So I'd like to see someone from the Department of Public Works going out when these street openings are done and make sure that they're compacted correctly, and you won't have this problem. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, Councilor, right now on this motion, we're talking about repaving and resealing. If you want to make an additional amendment to that or another motion, because it has, right now, it's a general, you're talking about a generalized thing, not a specific thing.
No, I
What would you like to do on that?
Let the motion go as it is, and then I'll put in a substitute motion, subsequent motion, rather, next meeting.
Okay. On the motion, all in favor, all opposed, vote and so ordered. 15.
Calendar item number 15, motion presented by Councilor Correggio that the Department of Public Works be requested to replace the tree that was hit by lightning at 193 Vane Street.
Councilor Correggio.
Motion speaks for itself.
Wow. On the motion, all in favor, all opposed, vote and so ordered.
Calendar item number 16, motion presented by Councilor Correggio that the Department of Public Works repair the collapsed catch basin at Gladys and Intervale Streets. This is a serious public safety issue.
Councilor Correggio.
This is a very dangerous situation. I guess it's been like that for quite a while. There's a hole in the side of the catch basin, and a youngster could fall in it, and it needs to be addressed immediately. And I guess it causes a big flood on Intervale and Gladys Street, so it needs attention immediately, that catch basin. Add Councilor Powers if he wishes to go on that motion.
Do you wish, Councilor, to be put on that motion?
That's fine.
Okay,
That's
we'll
fine.
add Councilor Powers to the motion. All in favor, all opposed? Vote and so ordered.
Late motion presented by Councilors Correggio and Reardon that the mayor be requested to direct the superintendent of the Department of Public Works to repair the school traffic light at 26 Human Street for the safety of the school children of the McKinley School.
Councilor Correggio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was recently, the other day, down on Yeaman Street, and the residents are complaining that the school safety light hasn't been working for a while. So that needs attention, and we need to get the city signal department or wire department to go down and check it out and get that thing operating. Thank you.
Councilor Reardon.
Yeah, this is strikingly similar to a motion I put in about a month ago about putting another light in there, so that didn't get much attention. Let's hope this one does. Thank you.
Madam Vice President.
Thank you. I just wanted to know if I could be added to this motion. This kind of also goes off of two motions that I put in when I first got elected months and months and months ago about having all of the conditions of these lights looked at. And I remember posting pictures to the council of holes in the ground and broken lights and all sorts of repairs. And I believe I put one in that encompassed all of these, and a lot of them still haven't been addressed. Thank you.
On the motion, all in favor, all opposed? Vote and so ordered.
Late motion presented by Councilors Novoselsky and Powers that the mayor appropriate monies obtained from Wonderland parking licenses to upgrade and upkeep Butler Circle.
Councilor Powers, you got it first.
Thank you, Mr. President, and I want to thank you for supporting me on this particular motion. As we both know, that that circle is partly in Ward 5 and it's partly in Ward 2. And I think that's probably the last circle that hasn't had any serious beautification work. You're aware, I'm sure, that we're doing Bell Circle also. We've had a meeting over at the Comfort Inn.
You mean Mahoney Circle, Councilor?
Yeah, a.k.a. Bell Circle. Correct. You're correct. And I think if Butler Circle is probably going to be the last circle in the city that hasn't been addressed, and I think that the monies that we receive for those parking fees, where the parking does impact the beautification of that area, be used to beautify the circle, to sort of take away from the impact that those parking trucks and cars have down there. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor. And just to, since I was with you on that, I think it's a good idea that since the mayor doesn't have the funds right now, that we utilize that those funds to be put in towards that circle.
Absolutely, Mr. President.
All in motion, all in favor, all opposed. You're rude, Councilor.
Late motion presented by Councilors Arrigo and Powers that the mayor requests DCR to clean the catch basins clogged with sand along Revere Beach Boulevard. During last Friday's significant rainfall, these clogged catch basins made driving along Revere Beach Boulevard very dangerous.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilor Arrigo and I have discussed this. We've seen those catch basins, and they certainly need to be cleaned. As you know, if you get standing water down there after 4 or 5 inches of rain, there's always the possibility of one of those cars hydroplaning down there as it goes through the water. So I think it's a safety issue for the residents down there and the motorists who travel along the boulevard. And I would hope that the mayor would send this communication to DCR, and that would be handled as quickly as possible. Thank you, Mr. President.
Just to add to that, I'm not exactly sure where on the boulevard he's talking about. I don't know if you know.
They're down around the northern end of the boulevard, I believe it is.
Because we have that issue between Revere Street and Chester. So I would like to add that section.
Yes, definitely. The whole.
I'd like to add that section onto.
The whole line should be checked out, really.
The area between Revere Street and Chester Street on the easterly side. You know, there's been standing water there for months, and it's probably high bacteria counts at this point. It's not nice looking. And add me onto the motion, please. On the motion, all in favor, all opposed, as amended. Vote and so ordered. Since there's no further business, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your evening of cooperation. And the next meeting's in 2 weeks, and Councilor Correggio will be forming up his meetings for the budget. I mean, Councilor Arrigo, I'm sorry. We'll be forming up the meeting dates. So. Oh, good. Thank you. Motion to adjourn.